Good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing well. My name is Faith Collins, and I am a post-bac student with a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology. I'd like to thank Keir and the Robert E. McNair Scholarship for the opportunity to speak at today's symposium. I'm here representing the Department of Psychology's Computational Social Neuroscience Lab, which is directed by Dr. Robert Chavez. The following research I am presenting is a subset of material from the replication of Dr. Chavez's original round-robin project. Previous research has demonstrated that the neural responses during self-referential thought are recapitulated in the brains of close friends thinking about the self. However, we acknowledge that these processes are influenced by the affective valence of stimuli. Affective valence is best understood as a positive state or a negative state. For example, excited has a positive valence and sad has a negative valence. Further, we recognize that the affective valence of stimuli recruits similar neural processes as the medial prefrontal cortex, which is the area of the brain that is activated during self-referential thought. Is a subject's positive self-representation similar to the group's positive representation of them over and above how the group sees somebody else? We sought to answer this question by recruiting small groups of close-knit individuals in a round-robin fMRI design. We recruited 20 groups, which each consisted of 5 to 6 people. These groups were academics, friends, and local businesses ages 18 to 51 with a mean age of 23 years old. Out of the total 114 participants, 44 of whom were female, all were monetarily compensated for their time. Each member of the group was brought into the scanner individually to do a trait-adjective task. During this task, subjects reflected on positive and negative traits both about themselves and their group members to estimate the neural responses to self and every other person in the group, which is a unique aspect of the study. Once in the scanner, subjects participated in a total of 5 runs where half of the total words were negative and the other half were positive. Each participant had a button box where they responded yes or no to whether the trait word described the target on top. For example, a subject would see self, followed by enthusiastic, and would answer yes or no to whether they thought of themselves as an enthusiastic person. Then they'd see Roger, followed by angry, and would answer yes or no to whether they thought Roger was an angry person. In a full round-robin design, everyone was a target and a perceiver, and all words were used with every target. After collection, we used a multivariate pattern analysis to compare average voxel brain activity of positive self to the average positive representation the group had of that person. Simply, we took the brain activity of subject 1 thinking about themselves and then compared it to the average brain activity of everyone in their group thinking about subject 1. We predicted that positive self-representation was going to be similar to the group's positive representation of that target. We ran correlation distance between congruent and incongruent trials. Congruent trials are where we collapse subject 1 thinking about themselves compared to all other group members thinking about subject 1. Incongruent trials are when we collapse subject 1 thinking about themselves compared to all other group members thinking about a different group member. On the graph, smaller values on the y-axis indicate more similarity between the brain representations. We found positive congruent trials, the green dots on the graph, were significantly different than the positive incongruent trials, the red dots, but in a direction that was inconsistent with our hypothesis, such that positive congruent trials were less similar than positive incongruent trials. Simply, positive self-representation was less similar than the group's positive representation about that target. We currently are unsure and still investigating why the direction was inconsistent with our hypothesis. One reason could be that humans intrinsically have a positive self-bias, meaning that we think about ourselves more positively than our peers think about us. This provides further insight to how valence plays a role in social dynamics in our interpersonal perception. Thank you.